Hey, what's up guys? Today's video is gonna be about the valve body from this Mercedes transmission 722.6. So you're gonna see how to remove the conductor plate. I will present you all these solenoids and how to test them. I'm gonna show you as well what voltage values you need to see on the connector from the transmission. And we're gonna see as well what you can do with the scan tool on this transmission. Okay, so let's connect our scan tool and see. S220 up to 2000 left hand gasoline, S320. Control module, drive, transmission. Now since I've got the conductor plate disconnected, I expect that all the trouble codes will be on here. Okay, so the report is telling us that all these three solenoids responsible with the gear shifts have failed. And I will show you on the valve body which one is which. For example, we've got one solenoid responsible with the gear shift between 1 and 2 and then 4 and 5. We've got the torque converter lock-up solenoid valve, the oil temperature sensor. So another cool thing you can do, active test. And we've got here these three first tests. Each test is responsible with one solenoid, okay? And then we've got here the other three solenoids. We've got 6 in total. These are responsible with the gear shift. And down here we've got control unit adaptations. This has to be done when the car is running. You can do that if you repair the transmission. You can reset the adaptation data, display adaptation data. Let's see. Okay, so for example, you can copy this data and keep it for later in the situation that you have to repair the transmission. And let's see, special function. Here you can see the transmission oil check, operational check. Hopefully in another video I'm going to show you all these control unit adaptation functions and what you can do here. So for today, let's keep going and see what voltage you should expect at the connector. We've got here the transmission fluid panel and the connector is right on the passenger side. Here you have to twist this anti-clockwise and the connector will come out. Now if you have a look on the connector, you're gonna see that each pin is numbered. So let's see, between 1 and 2, 5.6 volts. And keep in mind that the car battery is on charge. 1 and 3, nothing. 1 and 4, 0.8 volts. So again, this is the valve body with the conductor plate on top. And you'll notice that the solenoids have basically two main colors. This almost like white color, we've got them on these two and on this one. And then we've got this dark color, is this one and these two here. And you'll notice as well that these three are a little bit different compared to these three. This solenoid is responsible with the shift between second gear and third gear. This one is responsible with the shift between third gear and fourth gear. And this one is responsible with the gear shift between first and second. And then the shift between fourth gear and fifth gear. Now on the dark color solenoids, we've got the torque converter clutch solenoid. This one is the shift pressure control solenoid. And this one is modulated control solenoid for pressure. We've got here in the middle the oil level regulator. This one right here is when you change the gear selector into the park or neutral mode. This is basically the sensor. When reinstalling this valve body back, make sure that you connect this pin here on the lever. Otherwise the transmission won't work and you need to take out the fluid again and redo this job basically. Now let's turn this around again. And you're gonna see here on the side the transmission oil temperature sensor. One simple test you can do on this park neutral switch. Turn the voltmeter to ohms. You should see full continuity. Well, if you've got a good contact in there. Now let's press and see what happens. We've got full resistance. Okay. The continuity is disrupted. And that's how the TCU knows that you are neutral or parked. If this one doesn't respond, then you need to replace this conductor plate. On the temperature sensor, we've got 911 ohms. Inside here, they're around 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, the resistance is increasing, which means the temperature sensor works. Now to remove the valve body, it's quite easy. All you have to do is to drain the oil first, take out the filter. Then you've got 10 T30 bolts, which holds the valve body on the transmission. Then you have to take out the connector from the transmission. This can be a little bit tricky since you've got very limited space. But basically you have to turn this anti-clockwise, then take out the connector, and in the middle you're going to find a bolt. Remove that bolt and the valve body should be free once you remove those 10 T30 bolts. Next, in order to take out the solenoids, we've got to remove this T30 bolt. And let's see. And this is the solenoid. And you can see in there the electromagnet. In the middle is going to be like a plunger, which will allow the fluid to pass through from this hole through the tip here. And if you can see on the solenoid seat, you've got there a hole, so the transmission fluid will flow through that hole when the solenoid is activated in order to shift between second and third gear. And as you can see on the solenoid, we've got two O-rings, and if these two fail, then you will definitely have shifting problems between gears depending on which solenoid have the bad O-rings, and the direction of these fluids will be changed by these solenoids and this oil level regulator. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do some tests on this solenoid. It's quite simple, so let's see. So take your voltmeter and turn it to 200 ohms. You should not find more than 6.5 ohms and not less than 2.5 ohms. I believe this is the original one. This car has 350,000 kilometers on it. And we've got 4.5 ohms. That's well within spec. It's actually right in the middle, which is perfect. Now let's apply 12 volts to it and let's hear if it click. This is definitely what I could hear when I was doing the bidirectional test on these solenoids. Now the same spec you should find on all these 6 solenoids. However, I feel like there is a slack in there. They shouldn't move like this. You see, this one is a little bit more solid, but this one is moving. Okay, so here you can see on this O-ring that it's pretty much flat with these two surfaces and it's not sealing anything. This one looks a little bit better. It looks like this surface, it's a little bit higher compared to this surface. Okay, so again, this one is also moving around. This one is moving. This one is not. And this one is also a little bit moving. Even though I press on them, they are still slacking in there. They are still moving like this. That can actually create the transmission to vibrate. I think I found the reason. Let me take out this solenoid and see how the O-rings look like. What a surprise. If you look on the O-ring, you can see how it rises above this surface. And you can see it clicks in there. While this one, you can just, I press it in there, but then it comes out very easy. Okay. Transmission definitely needs a new conductor plate and new O-rings on these solenoids. Let me show you first the part numbers in case that you need them. Let's see for the torque converter clutch solenoid. Let's see the part number of this one. The conductor plate part number, you can see it here. 14027000561. And finally, let's see how to take out this conductor plate. So these can be interchangeable, except of this one. This is a special one here. And you've got on this corner here a little tab. You can see it, you can feel it with your finger. Just pull that thing and then this plate will slide out. Now you can actually see the importance of changing the transmission fluid. There are a lot of very fine metal shavings. You can see here, for example, they are all gathering here because these small channels do not allow a huge fluid flow, so therefore they cannot get cleaned. Now, for example, if you have to remove the valve body for some reason and you have to do as well a fluid change, then I highly recommend that you open the valve body as well. And you can see, remove this gasket plate and you're gonna find more channels, and you can see on this gasket plate there is a lot of metal shavings on it, very fine particles of metal. These will never go out even though you make a flush. And on this one you're gonna find some balls as well. These are acting like a doorway. Okay guys, so that was pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and check out the other videos I made about this M112 engine. Don't forget to subscribe, it's free for you, and if you want you can check out the join button as well. I enabled that function because some of you requested, so stay tuned and I will see you in the next video.